Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Prospects eRacing League Tier 1 on the PlayStation, Round 6 at Miami. I'm Zippo Streams, sponsored by... No, supporting me tonight, sorry, is Sig Luke, aka Luke. Sorry, I'm all over the place at the minute. Sponsored by Rogue Affiliate, obviously, that's what I was going to say. Good evening, Luke. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I can confirm I am not sponsoring the league. I do not have the money to think about it. But yes,
sorry, it's been a bit manic these last, I don't know, say 5-10 minutes. But yeah, we're here. We're here in Miami, and let's see what we can get going tonight. I think it's only 12 drivers tonight, so a very, very small turnout tonight. Excuse me, I've just had to literally scoff my entire dinner down. After an hour late delivery. So yeah, here we go. 11 or maybe 12 drivers. Miami, it looks very overcast, so I'm wondering whether it is going to rain here in qualifying, or maybe even rain in the race. Who knows? Have to wait and see. So yes, looks like it is definitely dry for the time being. Miami, one of those very, very, very tricky circuits. It's new to the calendar this year, and there's that chicane in particular just underneath the bridge before that left-hander 90-degree seems to catch a lot of drivers out. But all in all, it's a bit of a weird track, really, isn't it, Luke?
Yeah, it's a real mishmash of corners. You got sort of the first couple of corners very reminiscent of Bahrain, sort of a tight right-hander into a sort of opening up to turn 2 and 3. I can imagine a lot of the drivers will be running, depending on the weather, low downforce, because although you do have that set to 2 and obviously that chicane, as you mentioned, that very tricky chicane, generally Miami is quite a high-speed track. You have three very long straights, 3 DRS zones, so a lot of opportunities to pass. And if you run high downforce, if you try and gear the car for sector 2, you're going to find very quickly that people behind you will just absolutely fly past your straight. So I think a lot of the drivers will be running towards the lower end on the downforce spectrum this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've seen a few league races here elsewhere, and it does seem to definitely seem to catch a few people out there, doesn't it, this track? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just replying to a message very quickly, just to Shane.
It is a difficult track really to judge, and something else people have to factor in, of course, is the curbs, because we all know that curbs on the F1 game can be temperamental. Last year's game was very well known for being temperamental, but a lot of the curbs here in Miami are incredibly high, especially in Sector 1, especially sort of the turn 3-4 long banking right-hander. So drivers will need to be very wary. Well, I can't speak to that either. Very wary of. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Be very wary of these curbs, and of course, Sector 2 especially. Those walls, they are not far away. Sure, you're not going that quickly, but if you want to stay a bit wide, or God forbid you're going too wide through that section, you're going to find very quickly that, as I've just been on board with Cameron, and to try and warm up his tyres, he's put himself in the wall. So Cameron, not exactly probably getting off the start he would have wanted to. But yeah, no, as I was saying, Cameron has put my point proven my point. Yeah, the walls are close, so drivers will need to be very careful with curbs and walls. It is Monaco, but at least you can overtake here, which is a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you just said, it's very the first sector is very difficult. Also, where we are on board with Larson here at the moment, we have noticed, not here in fact, but elsewhere, you can run very wide coming out of that corner, come back onto the track, and actually not invalidate or get any time penalties in the race. So some work needs doing to the track as well, obviously within the game. We've got a possibly Robbie into the wall there. Not sure what's happened in Sector 1, turn 3 or 4, I think. Yeah,
it was Robbie. He again putting my points, proving them exactly. I can imagine there didn't quite see the crash, but it was at that part of the track where if you take too much curve, the car it unsettles the car. Obviously, this year's game with these ground effect cars, the cars run so low to the ground that you often skim the curb. And same here for Miami. So I can imagine Rob there made a mistake. I can't see any visual damage to his car, so of course he will not set a particularly competitive lap at the end of this run. but at least he hasn't destroyed his front wing in the process, or in fact lost the car altogether. So drivers finding it a bit difficult out the doors early on, but it is a difficult track. You're, as I said, running low downforce through sections of track where you'd probably be wanting to run high downforce, as Mitri sets the fastest lap of the session so far, 27.9 to get us going this evening. Very solid lap, don't even need to be in 28, but already a sub 28 lap time. So yeah, it's looking like it's going to be competitive. Smaller field tonight, but hopefully that means we will have a lot of closer action and hopefully not too many safety cars.
Absolutely, yeah. On board with Alex at the moment, coming into the final braking zone of the lap to finish his timed lap as well. Now, we know from last week, Alex out of absolutely nowhere did just what he's just done there. Blew the pole position time out of the water, and I'm not saying that he's done that here so far this evening, but Total Carney as well was another one, if I remember rightly, that last week set an incredible time lap in quali as well. We've got an Aston Martin coming down. I think that's Bingham about to start his lap. Yes, it is. So we're staying on board here with Total Carney, as he comes through the final few corners and going to set the time as well. He went purple middle. Does he go purple, purple, purple? No. In fact, he actually only... Interesting that he's only gone third fastest, and he's actually completely messed up turn one there. And that's actually freed Troye to go through his... continue on with his lap as well. And we've got Basil actually coming through to the end of his lap now. And then we've got Mitwi going through, maybe into the pits for Mitwi, as Basil goes into fourth fastest. Yeah, Mitwi into the pits. And then we've got the Red Bull of possibly Cameron coming towards the end of his outlap. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. As we've got... where else was we? Who was we on board with a minute ago? We was on board with Troye, wasn't we?
Yes,
but he's actually not the closest one. I think it's... Oh, well, it was Equator, but he's invalidated. And then we've got... Tintoretto, actually, yes. So Tintoretto coming up next towards the end of the lap, as Equator's going to be beginning his next lap. Obviously, it's invalidated. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Obviously, numbers are a little bit low this week, which is unfortunate to see. It's not ideal. Obviously, we like to see full grid, especially for Tier 1. But you know, I mean, the drivers that we've got here anyway, last week definitely impressed and didn't let the side down, did they? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Last week was a fascinating race, of course. That last-minute safety car really sort of changing the face of the whole race. But we're having a bit of an order shaking out now. Of course, still 11 minutes to go in the session, and as long as it remains dry, of course, the track will keep on rubbering in Alex from provisional pole. Troye only a tenth off of him, so we could have another shootout for pole. Obviously, not everyone has finished their lap. In fact, Cameron's coming to the end of his lap.
Yeah, he is. I was just about to say that. And then we've got Equator coming through Sector 2 as well on his lap as well. So we'll be jumping on board with him straight after, as Cameron goes 4/10 quicker than Alex. And I'm sure it was Carney, Cameron, and Alex last week. But I'm kind of thinking maybe it was Cameron, Alex, and Troye that threw it out last week. I can't remember, but on board with Equator, I don't know if you can remember, Luke, who it was that completely threw us off last week.
I feel like it was. I want to say it was a Red Bull. I want to say it was a Red Bull. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. Week was a long time ago for me.
Equator goes 6th fastest. Next up is where are we going? King David. No, he's coming through Sector 1. Larson's actually coming down the back straight, so we're going to watch him. It's Larson, Robbie, and then King David. That is the order for the final 3 cars to set times.
Yeah, Robbie has invalidated, so he won't be finishing this lap, but at least it will not count towards his final push. Larson coming around that final, slight slide on the rear end as he tries to get the traction down. It's quite a hard corner to get the traction out up to the line. 8th on a 28.4, so decent enough lap from Larson, puts him, well, I'd say in the top 10. There's 12 drivers, so that doesn't exactly mean much, but it's a solid benchmark to start off of. If he finds 2 or 3 tenths, that puts him up onto the 3rd row. If he can find another half second, that puts him on the up to 5th. So I mean, it's competitive if you discount Cameron, because Cameron has absolutely annihilated the field, 4 tenths clear of Alex, and him and Troye are 4 tenths clear or 3 tenths clear of Mitri. So bit of a gap opening up as King David comes around the final corner. These two kinks are quite literally nothing to a Formula 1 car, as David goes 11th on a 28.6. So these it feels a bit about 1.5 seconds at the moment. Of course, a long way to go in this session, as I've said previously. But 11 out of 12 drivers have set a lap time. Will be opting to pit before finishing his going again. So I think we are going to have a look now for some second runs once drivers get back to the pits, make any adjustments, as Mitri has crashed. In fact, I thought he'd tried in the pit lane. Mitri has crashed at the just before the turn, that chicane. I can't think we can get any really onboard footage.
No,
Mitri out of the session.
I missed that on the game because I don't know how many games. Whoa!
Oh,
Bingham just had a massive snap. Did you see that?
I did. That was. I mean, that's one way to warm up your tyres, but that's probably also going to have, given him a bit of a heart attack there after that. That was quite a violent spin there. That was wow. I'm assuming he just put power to the floor, and he's on an outlap, so the tyres are probably quite cold. They're probably not anymore, but that was crazy. I mean, props to him to keeping it out the wall.
Yeah, I mean, that literally just threw him. I mean, I'm assuming he's on a wheel. I hope he let go of that wheel, because that was definitely going to be a wrist snapper otherwise.
Oof, yeah, no doubt.
Talking about what we were just saying, what you were just saying in regards to Mitwi, I miss on a few games ago where you could actually ride on board with the crash cars. Do you remember that on a previous?
I do. Yes. I
think that was brilliant.
It was, but I mean, this is Codemasters we're talking about, so they're likely to take away features before adding them back again. Obviously, not going to get too deep into the Codemasters standard here, because we're here to league race and to watch people drive very fast. But I'm sure many people will know that Codemasters are not many people's favourites. And there's also could be the fact that obviously we've had a new F1 game come out in the last week, and I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I for one have been playing a lot more of that than this, so there could also be a little bit of rust involved, depending on whether or not people have got the new F1 game, of course, the new F1 Manager game. So there could be a bit of rust, but that was unlucky for Mitchie there. I doubt he'll be the first to lose it at that part of the track, because it is incredibly hard, and the car is always wanting to get loose on you.
Yeah, I mean, just talking on the new F1 game, I personally don't have it. I've read a lot of stuff about it, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure on it just yet. I'm still debating whether I do or don't want to play it. We'll have to see. I need to see a few more videos about it first. It just looks very, very complicated and very in depth in regards to like your casual football manager.
Yeah, that is true. It's quite a complex game, especially once you factor in all the different components. We just running there with Tim, as he had. Did not handle the curbs of that chicane well. He's 4/10 down the set 2 split. That Mercedes W13 did not like the way he took those curves. It is a very specific route really on that chicane to get the quickest lap time. You want to stick as far as you can to the left, and then you basically just want to almost like not quite cut the track, but you almost want to sort of hit the middle of the car, get that across the actual curb itself, so you can sort of straight line the curb. Obviously within track limits, which is the juggling act, I think, for a lot of people.
Absolutely, yeah. We're just on board with Troy at the moment, coming down to finish his lap as he goes second fastest actually. So he goes in between Cameron and Alex. Next up is actually Robbie. So Robbie next, who goes provisional pole position. And apparently, rumours are that I'm a little bit quiet on the stream. Anyone else having that? I shouldn't be quiet on the stream. I mean, I'm no different to I was about an hour ago. But, hopefully that's a bit better for you guys. If it is, great. If not, then just drop me that message again in DMs if I am. But yeah, I mean, Robbie actually coming out of nowhere, really. I mean, he had a pretty awful first run, didn't he?
Yep.
Boxed, come out, and just been gone like, yeah, I'll just take that provisional pole position away from you at the moment. Thanks very much. Next up, I think, is a Quasar. I'm just having a little look at the cars. It's Larson actually. Larson is next. Robbie going through. Troye going through, and again Larson just getting it all wrong through there. It looked like he just took the wrong line through the chicane there. But it's one of those. It's a very difficult part of this track, and it does throw a lot of drivers off.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing about the chicane is that if you do it right, if you do hook it up, you can gain 2-3 tenths alone in that section of the track. It is crazy. It will be the sort of it's the sort of corner where in qualifying at least, in the race probably not so much because you're not going for an absolute flat out lap time. McLaughlin goes up from 9th to 5th, very strong showing from him.
5.5 tenth improvement there from Larson. Next up we have got Total Carney starting. I believe he's just about to start. As Basil improves by 7 tenths and stays 9th, I want to say.
There's a snap through the turn 1-2 feet. I think did he improve?
He improved by 7 tenths.
That would have put him from 12th to not to his current position in 9th, and he has got no ERS left, so I'm assuming that was a flying lap. And he's gone again. Ooh, Basil did a bing there.
Bing's actually gone purple in Sector 2 as well. Again, we're not sure how reliable the sector times are in regards to the purple, so we're going to wait and see as he crosses the line. Currently in 7th place, coming down towards the end of the back straight. In a moment, I am going to have to just pass it all over to you. I just need to help my partner down the stairs. She's had an operation. Obviously, I've got a 5-day-old baby. She had an operation, obviously, and just need to help her down the stairs. So I will just need to scoot off just to help her down in a second. But I'll put it on someone and I'll be back for the start of the race.
Yeah, absolutely, go for it, man. So, just me, which works well. We are about to start the final runs, I can imagine. I think Cameron has been tempted out the pit lane. He had provisional pole by quite a healthy margin. Robbie's gone, no, you don't, not anymore. So Cameron has eventually been tempted out the pit lane. He's going to try and find the time. The track has rubbered in quite a lot. Cameron set a lap time at the middle of the session, so there probably has been a little bit of track evolution. He's probably watched Robbie's on board. He's probably seen Robbie's set times. Probably knows where he can improve, compared to Robbie. So absolutely, this is going to be an exciting push for the sort of pole position.
For sure, yeah. So
the
we're going to leave you on
position.
board with Cameron whilst you go through the lap. I'm back in a second, guys.
Absolutely, thank you very much, Jippo. So just me, Cameron invalidates his outlap. Of course, not a major issue, but he was probably just testing, see how much of the chicane he could cut, and he probably knows his answer. So it's going to be a very intense few laps. I was just confirming he is not going to improve. He is invalidated, and Total Carney is up at the moment. He'll be the next one to cross line up by 4 tenths in the Sector 2 split. So that would put him up into 8th, depending on how much time he gains in the final few corners. But we will stick on board with Cameron. He's the one we are on board with on the feed. So we will stick on board with Cameron for a lap around the Miami Auto Drive. Oh, he nearly loses it. He even gets to start the finish line. That is not going to be what Cameron needed to start his lap. He's probably lost a little bit of time there. That is not what he needed to start the lap. Into turn 1, 3rd gear, touching that curb into the flicking it left, not quite going full throttle, goes full throttle temporarily, and he's invalidated. Now he doesn't have enough time. He does have enough time to go. No, he doesn't. That is Cameron out of the running. He has no more time to go around again. That is his qualifying session over and done with. Unluckily for him, got it all wrong on the penultimate corner there. I think he might try and go for a quick cheeky speed around the track, see if he can get round in time, but he's got 50 seconds to complete the rest of the lap. So looking unlikely for him. Robbie is on another lap. He has gone again. Alex is on a lap, so people are on laps. Obviously, Carney has done his lap. He's up now to 8th as predicted. But everyone else is on out laps or flying laps. I will keep an eye on Robbie's time through Sector 1 split. What can Robbie do through the Sector 1 split? Is he up? He's not. Well, he's not up, but he's not down by much, but down by about 1/4 of a tenth going through the first sector. That is not the end of the world for him. He can make that time up if he knows where he can improve. Trey up to the line. Didn't know that was his outlap. Who's that next? That is Larson on his outlap done, and Basil isn't going to get round in time. I don't think he. No, he's not. That is unlucky for Basil. That is probably quite embarrassing for him. He dives into the pit lane. He is not. Oh no, his AI veers him onto the track. So that is wonderful. Thank you, Codemasters. Up next.
Sorry, guys.
That's fine. Cameron has invalidated, so he'll be next, but he will not get pole position. And he's spun out the final corner.
Damage there.
Yeah, that is Cameron out of the running just to make sure he is. Alex up to the line. He's up by milliseconds up to the line. Can he improve? No, I think he backed out, ran out of fuel.
Robbie to the line now.
Can he get the sub 1 minute 27s? Yes, he can. Wow. So, That is a marker and a half. Trey's up by a tenth and a half through the first sector. He's going to need a miracle through the second to try and even think about challenging for pole. Larson's down in the first sector. Quasar's up by 4/10, so he could challenge Larson here for 6th place if Larson can't find anything on this lap. Tim Toretto up to the line, stays 11th. Quasar up to the line, goes up to 6th, does beat Larson, but Larson's down by 2/10 now in the second sector, so he's going to need a miracle coming out that final corner. Trey is up still by that 10th and a half. Can he do it? Well, he's not going to get pole, but can he challenge Cameron? Can he get on the front row of the grid?
Oh, he can!
Yes, he can! Oh, by the slimmest of margins.
Wow.
What can Larson do? Can he find 2/10 in the third sector? No. He cannot.
He found a 10th, though. I mean, he did find a 10.
He did. He found a 10th, which is decent. But, I mean, Robbie just went, yeah, no, you ain't touching me tonight. And has absolutely annihilated the sub 1 minute 27. That is crazy. I think you can agree, Sippo. That is
absolutely, yeah.
That is quite obscene.
Wow. Robbie this week done. I don't know. He wasn't here last week, was he, Robbie? I can't remember. I've a lot. Well,
for you, a lot's happened. Yeah,
well,
I understand
literally,
that.
I came off the stream,
baby.
Done a few bits at home, went to bed, and then woke up to 52 missed calls and messages from my partner and her father to be told that 3:03 my boys passed, born, sorry, and it was a nightmare, and I almost lost them both. So it's been a crazy week. We're back here anyway. Robbie got that pole position almost 4.5 tenths clear of Troy Yates and the rest of the grid. Cameron in third, sorry, Bingham 4th, Alex in 5th, Quasar 6th, Larson 7th, Mitwee 8th, Carney 9th, Basil 10th, Tintoretto 11th, and King David down there in P12. So yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride for me this week, but comms has kind of kept me going this week as well as everything else. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster this week. So yeah, forgive us, me personally, for not remembering who was and wasn't here last week. I can just about remember what I did Tuesday, let alone who raced Monday night.
I don't think anyone will hold it against you, especially after that. After becoming a father again, that is just. I mean, well, congratulations. I think are in order.
It's only the 4th time.
Only. But obviously, congratulations in order. It is looking very sunny, I must say.
That is good.
That is reassuring for the drivers. Obviously, that can change. Doesn't seem to stay sunny forever, but they call it the Sunshine State for a reason. So we'll have to see what it brings. I'm imagining a one-stop strategy, depending on safety cars, medium hard, as per usual, because this game we have no strategic difference. There's not going to be any soft medium, or medium soft, or hard soft, because the soft is just useless. So it's probably going to be one-stop medium hard, or hard medium. Unless someone wants to be quirky and do the softs, and if you do, I pity you, because I would not recommend the soft tyres as a race tyre at this track.
No, I wouldn't recommend the softs as a race tyre, full stop, but not at this track.
Fair enough. That's very true. Are we confirming is formation up on this week?
It should be.
Okay, it should be. So we'll have to wait and see. But
provided that when I redone the lobby the second time, I remember to turn it on. I'm pretty certain I did, but I hope I did.
I mean, even if you didn't, it's not the end of the world. The drivers are used to going straight into it, but I'm sure formation up will help them get their head in the game, and it helps us just to show you what tyres everyone's on.
We'll soon find out. I think I've done it.
Yeah, it's on.
Yes.
Yeah, he's done it.
Right, let's have a look and see what the tyres are then.
Larson. Larson. I told you Larson. I think Larson just wants to be different. Larson's being extra.
Just look at
extra
that.
different tonight.
It's only 3 on the mediums. Everybody else hards.
So they're going to try and do the alternative. I mean, Larson is within a good shout of at least having an excellent launch. You know, you have an excellent first couple of laps. He could very well get in the top 3 if he plays his cards right, if he keeps it safe and clean on those soft tyres. But, I mean, Cameron doing mediums, of course, he's going to have to switch to the hards at some point. So I think, obviously, yeah, people around him are banking on the fact that they'll have the quicker medium tyres for the end of the race. Could it be possible, obviously, we have no confirmation, would that mean people starting on the hards? Are we in for a shot of rain?
Do you know, I was just about to say, could we see a wet ending for this race? Because
that is a lot of people. Like, I can understand like 3 or 4, like a couple of people changing, but I mean that many. that is rather a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. I mean, maybe, or maybe they just don't think that the. Well, no, I don't have a defence. To be honest, I'm for the first time. I don't have a defence to why that many are starting on the hards. It's possible, and it depends when the rain's going to fall as well, because those on the mediums could be a strategy mistake, or they think the hards are going to go long enough, safety car dependent, to chuck the softs on at the end.
Yeah, entirely possible.
I don't know what the tyre wear. I've raced this track, and I can't remember what the tyre wear was like. I mean, I started hard as well.
Obviously, it's going to be a one-stop. That's medium hard or hard medium. That is the that is the route you go. Perhaps Larson is possibly. I think Larson is maybe soft to get a good launch, blitz it down the road. The second those softs start to feel bad, he switches on to a set of mediums, put some coil laps in and blast it. But I mean, it's a relatively long pit lane and it's not a great entrance, to be honest. It's a very good entrance.
Surely if he's on the soft state, he goes to the hards, doesn't he?
I mean, if there's no rain, then yeah, absolutely. He might try and push a long hard stint and maybe switch to the mediums or another set of softs with a late safety car. But as he Larson does a nice spin on the grid there. He might get disqualified if he's not careful. But yeah, no, I mean it depends. We don't know if there's rain coming. If there is rain coming, he might just try and do a quick one, or might just do soft as well. As him and Mitri completely obliterate their boards and get disqualified.
Yeah, so we've got the red lights up now then, guys. We've got 5 red lights. Lights out, and there's always a brief hold at the moment. We are racing here in Miami for round 6 of Prospects eRacing League Tier 1 from PlayStation, and all in all, was a very good race start actually. All 12 drivers, I think, get away very, very cleanly, and Robbie does hold on to that provisional lead of the race at the moment. Troye very close and hot on his tail. We've got Equator and Bingram actually changing positions. Oh, there's contact as Equator does drive into the back of Bingram. And a little bit of lag spike there from Equator as well. All in all, it's been a very good start to the race. Mitwi up, well, I was going to say up ahead of Basil, but Basil does get that position back and makes Mitwi tuck in behind. And you've got Alex and Larson changing positions, as well as Robbie. Robbie's had a moment. He's down in second, third. There's definitely a moment there, and he's gone off. Oh, we've got a spinner in the background. That is Larson. Oh, no! Oh. And Cameron's round, and we've got... he's got to be careful that he doesn't get the disqualified or the rear wing damage there as he's flipping that car around. And that is Cameron, unfortunately, all the way down there in P12 now, as Troye now leads. Robbie in second place. Cameron gets a 5-second corner cutting penalty going through. I can imagine that was the chicane, just drove straight through the chicane. And look at the gap that Troye's got to Robbie now.
Yeah, that is insane. That is, I mean, obviously, as obviously Robbie, Troye said, Robbie had that amazing, qualifying lap time. He obliterated everyone else in for 1:26s, but at least on the first lap, maybe Robbie hasn't quite got those hards up to temperature yet. We won't know for another few laps, but I mean, Troye, if tire temps are the issue, always the yellow flag as Cameron has pissed and quitted, he's given up straight away. But I think Troye, and Mitri's gone as well. Mitri's gone for a little spin in the other Alfa Romeo. I feel bad for Larson, obviously trying to get those soft tyres, trying to use them to his advantage. Got unlucky there. They all Constantined up into the long right-hander. But yeah, no, I mean, there's more yellow flags, and that is Tim Toretto who's gone. So people struggling to keep their cars under control in the race trim. Robbie is closing in a little bit on this lap. The gap was 2 seconds at the start. It's now down to 1.7. My intervals are all over the place because apparently Bingham is at 1:31.
Yeah, you've got the interval timing sector glitch, whatever else you want to call it. Actually, on board with Equator, he's getting pretty close to the back of Bingham for the final podium place, but very close behind as well. You have got Alex, Basil, King David, and Total Carney, all within DRS when it gets enabled at the end of this lap of each other. And I can imagine it's going to become a bit of a DRS train for the next few laps. I mean, there's only one real. Oh my! As Bingham and Equazer both almost drop it at the exact same part of the track. Yellow flags. Larson's out of the session.
Gone.
That could be a safety car.
That's a big crash. That's it.
That's a virtual safety car.
That's a false. No, yeah, still a virtual. As Tin Treader has to try and literally avoid the stricken house in the middle of the track. As Larson has left the session. And this helps Robbie because I was riding on board with him in Sector 3, or as he was coming to the end of the straight, and his light was flashing. His ERS light was flashing, which means he has obviously drained the banks of that Ferrari. He has absolutely annihilated the extra power you get from the electrical component. So this virtual is going to help him just to restore some battery. And that is a big thing that I forgot to mention earlier on. Battery is very difficult to save on this track. Once you drain it, unless you have a virtual or full-on safety car, you will find very quickly that you will have next to nothing left. And no ERS is not a place you want to go as we go green again. Virtual safety car is over.
Yes, virtual safety car going over very, very quickly there. Actually, it wasn't as long as I'd anticipated. It was seen much longer than that. What it has done though is it's bunched up those drivers that I said about earlier. It's third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, all within 2 seconds of each other. So it's very, very close together at the moment. And as I said, the DRS is now active. Basil's getting the run, but it's just a very big DRS train at the moment. Saying that, Equazer does get past Bingham, and that is Equazer up into third place. Now, I would say that this move has been coming for about the last 3 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the thing is with this track, the one thing I do like, one of the things I do like about it is the fact that if you pass someone into that corner, you do have DRS coming down the straight, which, I mean, you can see passes, which is quite fun. The track does not lack overtaking opportunities, which I think is part of, for me at least, part of the charm of this track. You can get past people, back past people. As Basil's having a run here, Alex, a bit of a risky part of the track to try and make a lunge. Yeah, backs out of that. Yeah, no, he thought better about that one, but he's not thinking better about this one.
Yeah, and that's a very good move, actually.
Yeah, just using those medium tyres, superior grip, and he should still have DRS on the cars ahead, as we have a yellow flag with him. Yeah, unlucky for him, but yeah, Basil still has DRS on the cars ahead, so he should be able to keep ahead of Alex. Yeah, here comes King David. He's using the toe. He's using, well,
he's going. He almost went for the double move there. He almost got Alex and Basil there. This is another part of the track that's horrible. This part of the track where they are now it's a really, really like tricky part of the track as well. Because where you go, you come down to the end of that DRS and you've got that really harsh left-hand braking zone. And then as you're going round there, if you get that wrong, you try and get your cars 2 by 2 through there. One of you will end up in the wall because it's just not because it comes back on yourself so quick. You physically just can't race side by side there. That I've found anyway, not myself personally, but what I've watched, you just cannot race with them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've had my own gremlins with that part of the track, especially in league racing. That chicane there very much reminds me of the Singapore sling, showing my age to the older F1 fans. If you remember that Singapore sling at Singapore from 2008 to 2012, I believe, which was basically a random chicane that they put in the middle of Singapore because, well, they had to slow the car down somehow, and that very much get that feeling with the chicane there. It's just sort of a thing. As Mitchley's gone,
that's got to be a safety car now. Yeah,
yep.
Full course safety car.
Which, I mean, if Larson was on the race, he'd have loved that because that means he could have got rid of his soft tyres. We could see a hard runner pit for mediums and basically do one up on the mediums and pit again for the hards, depending on the length of the safety car. The field is relatively spread. Well, I say relatively spread. It's pretty close. You've got Tim Toretto about 20 seconds off the back of Carney. Sorry, Tim. Sorry for the slight slander there. But, I mean, it depends on the length of the safety car. As I said, this is not a place that you can find difficulty in overtaking. So, yeah, unlucky for Mitri there. But this does now throw a bit of a spanner in the works. See what drivers will do. Will anyone pit? Will the medium runners pit if they think they can get their hards for the last another 20 laps, or if they're banking on a safety car? But I'm wondering if any of the hard runners, possibly Carney, seeing he does have a pit stop to Trento, possibly pits for mediums and then does his one obligatory lap round the Miami Autodrome and comes back in for the hards. But you'd have to have a very good tyre wear for that, so a bit of a risky strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you want to get Bingham back in because he's actually left the session.
Yeah, I'll get on that. Oh god.
Now Basil and King David have both boxed.
They have. But, yeah. Oh, so they're going to go to the hards, or they're going to. That's hards for Basil and King David. That's them both in.
Kind of locked in now, aren't they? Really?
Yeah, they are. I mean, safety car will help. Being ties up temperature, keeps them relatively fresh. But they're very much going to bank on the safety car another about 10 or 12 laps or so. Well, if they had another safety car then and all the hard ones a bit for mediums, and then they'll be in real trouble.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see what they do, see what happens. I mean, we still have no confirmation on the actual weather forecast. So
of course, yeah, which is something else I think would be a huge addition to the game.
yeah, so we get the predicted tyre strategy. So why not the predicted weather? You know, just please, Codemasters. I know you're probably not watching this, Cody's, or anyone that works at Cody's, but please, we beg of you, make commentating this game just a little bit more enjoyable.
Absolutely, but the thing is as well is obviously only 9 drivers left in the race, which is quite a shame, really. But already, this safety car's been out. Well, this is the lap they've caught up to the safety car, isn't it? So it's not actually been out a complete full lap yet. I don't think. No, it hasn't, has it? Yes, it has. No, it hasn't. Yes, it has. Yeah, this
Came out lap 5, so end of lap 5, the others pitted. So yeah, this is the first sort of full lap behind it.
And they're all already caught back up. So we could. It's not going to be this lap, is it? It's going to be still.
No, Torento's too far back. Torrento and King David are still catching up to the back of the field. So don't think it won't be. It'll be end of the next lap unless anyone else decides to pit now. But apart from sort of the people at the back, you're not really going to get anything from pitting now because the field's bunched up, so you're going to lose as much time as you would do if you pitted under green flag conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no. Field's all caught up. This gives people chances to possibly save fuel if they underfield the car. We gain any ERS, so they'll all probably have full or close to full banks of battery as Tim Toretto does pit. So we are definitely going to have at least another lap behind the safety car. But hey, at least we get to chat more about this lovely track and its many redeeming features, which are definitely many.
Let's talk about how much it costs to get into the Miami Grand Prix.
Well, possibly not as much as it's going to cost you to get to the Las Vegas Grand Prix next year, if the rumours are to be believed that a general package will set you back about 6 figures.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Apparently, I've been I've heard, seen, I won't quote, a lot of money.
Yeah, which I think is coming from the fact that F1 itself is actually like obviously a lot of these tracks privately owned or corporation sort of makes them. Obviously, Miami, part of Miami Dolphins, their stadium, they got this all together. But F1, the actual corporation, Liberty Media owns, have bought the land at Vegas. They're paying for the track to be built per se. So yeah, they're going to be charging a lot of money to try and recoup some of the money they're going to spend on this track.
Now, am I correct in saying I've seen like 10 grand a package?
Yeah, 10 grand if you want a decent. I think it's something that. I mean, I suppose in the hotels themselves, the casinos nearby are going to be offering absolutely exuberant prices. If you ask me, and I may sound like a gremlin, even though I'm 19, I'm like, oh, I don't want this in Formula 1. But yeah, I do not see the allure of the Las Vegas track. I mean, I don't really see the allure of Miami, but at least the track looks fun and technical. Las Vegas literally just looks like it's a drag strip, and they just added some corners in because they realise it's not drag racing, it's Formula 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be a huge fan of it, I don't think. It's, I think it is going to be Marmite.
Yeah.
But, and again, safety cars coming in this lap 7 of 29, going into lap 8. 9 drivers do remain. Hopefully, we'll still see 9 drivers at the checker flag at the end of this race. For our sakes, guys, please let there be 9 drivers at the end of this checker flag when this race is over. Troy 8 now leads the safety car restart. Now I know Troy 8 quite well, and he is not he's not one that gets done by pressure very easily. So I think he's going to be coping with this restart rather well. As there's lots of weaving in the background actually. Robbie hot on his tail. We've already seen Carney and Basil changing positions going through turns 1 and 2.
Oh, Basil, very nice.
As Basil actually keeps that position and and puts himself into P6. King David as well, all over the back of Total Carney here. And I mean all over the back of him, almost pushed him forward.
Bingham's gone. And Tim Toretto's going to spin too.
Cheers guys, thanks for
winning.
ensuring that there is definitely going to be 9 drivers at the end. Thanks, but no, I mean, There's definitely plenty of battles left, though, isn't there? I mean, Robbie against Troye, I think is going to go on for a very long time. And then you've got King David and Total Carney going down the inside here into this part that I said about you don't want to be going will to will. That I don't think is going to happen, but he goes a bit deep, does King David?
Deep.
Oh, and they're going to be going will to will. Oh my god,
No,
almost will to will.
Carney see sense. David went deep there.
Oh, there's a spinner.
Yeah, that's Basil, but I think people on cold tyres are not going to be enjoying those cold hards. Safety car does do one thing for the hard tyres, it gets them very cold very quickly, and I think that's what caught up Bingrim and Tintoretto there. Just the fact is, obviously, cold tyres, you're going to be trying to push as hard as you can, you want to try and catch the car ahead, it's safety car restart, this could be your one chance to probably put up a fight, and it has taken its toll on the already relatively small tier 1 field here. So you cursed on Zippo, you said you wanted 9, and immediately you got down to 8. So I think
we're almost at 7 then, because Robbie, coming out of the final corner, was literally wrestling that car. It was like a snake going for its prey down in a field, and he was literally fighting that. You could tell, you could imagine him sat there at home, like wrists crossed, trying to keep that car straight, and that was a very good save, let's say.
Yeah, that it's funny because obviously those two kinks are sort of the left and the right, like, lead you onto the start finish rate. As corners themselves, there shouldn't be an issue, but it's the traction, trying to get the traction out of that corner, the actual front or braking zone of the track. You want to try and see people try and put their foot down as quickly as possible, and more often than not, because they're running such low downforce, not quite Monza and Spa levels, but low enough, the car just doesn't take it. But Robbie is all over the back of Troye. He is looking up that Alfa Romeo's rear wing. Could be seen Audi. That's another thing that could be happening in the future.
Yes,
but he's all over the back of that car.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's as Troye weaves down the straight, trying to break that toe as much as possible. The Ferrari sticking with him. Two Ferrari-powered cars, of course, equal cars for this lobby. King David has passed Alex with those fresh hard tyres, so he's putting them to very good use.
He has. Yeah, he's got them warmed up quite nicely as well now.
Yeah, he has, possibly running slightly higher. I mean, that is the one benefit of running the harder compounds. You can incrementally increase the tyre pressures, just not enough to burn your tyres up, but enough just to make sure they're in a good operating window and just to boost your sort of downforce and your confidence through these faster sections. But yeah, that was a great move from King David, and he's up to 4th, chasing now can he chase down the Quasar. I think the main battle, I think the only battle we're going to be seeing this lap is going to be Robbie versus Troye down this first DRS, so now DRS is back.
Yes, it is, and I think, as I've said earlier, it's going to be a battle that's going to be going on for quite a time now. Both very much seem to be matching each other for pace. The gap isn't coming down very easily either. Thanks for the raid there, Patty. I appreciate that.
Oh, yellow flag. That is Tintoretto. He's just not enjoying this.
He's not enjoying those medium tyres either, is he? He's just
this track in general.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
It's just not been a great race for Tintoretto. I tell you what, Robbie, I'm not sure if there was any contact with the wall there, but there was definitely.
I think there was.
There's no damage, which is a good thing.
Definitely a glancing blow. He was lucky. He got that sort of right in the area where it just the front right tyre probably took most of the brunt of that. But he's got to be careful not to try and do that again as he brakes so much later, goes deep again.
He's not actually benefited anything from that. He's actually made that worse off for himself.
That car is incredibly understeery, which means he's either running no front wing, or perhaps we saw him struggle to get Troye. Obviously, had that massive lead after the first couple of laps, so he brought up a lead. Obviously, I don't know what Robbie's settings are, what his setup is, but that car I was saying a lot, which makes me believe he's either running no front wing or possibly he's burning those hard tyres in his pursuit of the Alfa Romeo. Of course, sitting in the dirty air, the hot dirty air of the Alfa Romeo, is going to do not going to do anything good for those pretty hard tyres. But he is definitely struggling. He's wrestling that car around, so he's running a very, very risky setup.
Yeah, absolutely. Just monitoring something at the moment. So, but yeah, I mean, he's gone for the move once again.
Surely not. He's going to back out. Surely, Robbie. Oh my God, this is going to end in tears. This is going to end in tears.
Going up through the chicane.
No.
Almost pushing Troye through that through that chicane there as well. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is about as much as you want to go side by side. I think Troy obviously able to sort of push Robbie a little bit wide there. He was ahead, so nothing sort of, there's nothing evil in nature. But that was brave from Robbie. He fully went for that around the outside. I wouldn't be surprised actually if he got a warning for that, because that was quite far off the track. He used all the layout there, that's for certain.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, it's literally the only fight at the moment. I mean, King David and Equator getting a little bit closer to each other. Basil getting a bit closer to Carney, but at the same time the gaps then they then stretch themselves as well. Robbie and Troy Yates literally kind of like in their own race now.
Yeah, very much. It's almost a league of their own. But yeah, no, these guys are pushing hard. Just got to be careful not to push each other into a wall. We're already down to 8 runners. I know Zippo said that you don't want anyone else going out, and then someone else went out. But please, let's hope I'm not as cursed as not as what was I going to say? I lost the train of thought. But Robbie's going for the move, so that's something that is something to talk about.
As he's gone a long way, but he's been pushed round the long way. Let's say he's gone deep again, but he has now got the move made this time. Troy Yates, when I say pushed around the outside, I don't mean physically forced. I mean Troy positioned his car perfectly, making Robbie go around the outside, and then that was a huge snap going through there. He's ridden over the corner there, over the curb, and that's pushed him down, obviously into a bit of a slide there. King David and Equator now also getting very close together. We're going to keep an eye on that Troy Yates versus Robbie fight as we're going for the move. Now, I didn't catch that. I was on board with King David because he was getting very close to Equator and starting to gain on him. But Troy Yates now...
burning up the... Looks like Robbie's out of VRS. Troy Yates now flashing. He's pushing them both. That was a bit of a risky move there.
Basil out of the session. Now, what are we going to get?
That'll be a safety car.
Yes, it is a safety car. I am just going to take this moment. I know we shouldn't mention chat and stuff on Tier 1 as much, but guys, seriously, can we just keep it out? We don't need to see this on the chat. Okay, like if there's grievance on the chat, please just take it somewhere else. Like,
take it to Twitter. That's all the other F1.
It doesn't need to be here, and under strict instructions, just to time people out if it doesn't stop. So, guys, let's just keep it polite. That's all we need to do. Keep it nice in the chat, please.
We're here to watch people drive fast, or in the case of half the field, not get anywhere at all. But let's keep it civil. Let's show that the F1 fan base isn't quite as toxic as many people are allowed to believe. That safety car moving swiftly on from the flight issues. Will anyone pit for the medium tyres? Obviously, Troy and Robbie in the lead. Medium tyres, possibly a bit of a push to get them to the end. So we'll have to wait and see what these two do. There might not be another safety car or race. So this could be their prime opportunity to pit, or do they wait a little longer and go for much fresher mediums that they know can make it to the end? I think they're going to pit because we're down to 7 runners, so another safety car isn't exactly guaranteed. What's Robbie going to do?
It's not. You're right.
No, yeah, in they come, unsurprisingly. Now, what's King David and Co going to do? Because King David put it under that previous safety car, and he's now running to do so. So he is sticking out. So King David's sticking out on those hard tyres. This safety car probably does help him a little bit. It helps him keep his hard tyres in a fairly decent mix. As Robbie goes to mediums. Yeah, medium tyres for all. As all the Alpes had to stack there, so Carney's going to be a little bit delayed getting out, but he should be clear of Tim Toretto, who's pitting anyway. So nothing much has changed. All that's changed is that King David's now first because he hasn't pitted. So the orders stay the same. As Equator gets 5 seconds. What was that for?
Coming out of the pits at the he's cut the white line, hasn't he, on the exit?
Yeah, but surely that would come up as crossing the pit lane exit. That's a corner cutting penalty, so I don't know how he's quite managed to get. 5 seconds as well. That's like a proper corner cut. That's worse than the 3 seconds.
Did you do tier 3 last week?
No, no, I did not. I did tier 1.
Yeah, you did tier 1 with me, and then you didn't do anything else last week, did you?
No, just tier 1. Just tier 1 with Zippo, the greatest commentator to ever walk the earth. He did not pay me to say that, by the way. He did not pay me. But yeah, no. Just obviously tier 1 for me, and obviously drove in tier 2 last week.
That's it.
Did make it quite halfway. But again, it's Japan. No one likes Japan. But less people do like Japan. At which point, your opinion is valid. Japan is not a fun circuit. We are more or less going to be. We might even get racing at the end of this lap. And I think Kai's going to catch up.
Don't think we're going to. No, it's going to be next lap. Yeah.
I mean, it could do. He's going to catch them up. He's going to catch them up halfway down the straight. So we've seen very late safety car decisions before. But I think Alex has fallen a bit too far back. I think so. That is going to be another lap behind safety car. I don't think the medium runners will complain. Keeps their mediums in a steadfast nick. They can go fast. Well, they hope to go fast. But yeah, Robbie keeps his lead over Troye. They'll have to try and dispatch of King David, because we are going to assume David does not pit again, or does not want to pit again, at least, unless he picks up something. So, Robbie and everyone else will have to try and force their way past. Tintoretto, I think at this point, is just trying to and keep his car in a straight line. Sorry, Tim, I feel like I'm flattering you a lot tonight. I do apologise. Next week, I will be better, probably. But no, everyone, I think, is just going to be get past the people ahead of you, so that'd be David for the cars behind. And hopefully it settles down. Hopefully we'll have no more retirements. But at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if we have 5 people running at the end. Because every time we mention the fact that someone shouldn't retire, people retire. So, yeah, I think we'll have about 5 people left at the end of this race. Hopefully not, because we want as many people finishing as possible, but it is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that we've only got 7 racing now. I mean, yeah, it's not the best of turnouts this evening, unfortunately. But yeah, it is unfortunate tonight.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but of course, for a lot of the European and some of our American colleagues, it is still the summer holidays. They are still having time off. You know, people still going on holiday. So hopefully, next couple of weeks we'll see a pick up in form. I know that some of the leagues that I've been sort of watching by or competing in have had a downturn in sort of, you know, people being on holiday, people being busy, people doing
absolutely the same. Summer holidays in general, you know, bank holidays as well, various other little things elsewhere as well. It's kind of affected, as you just said, leagues in general. Hopefully, when the summer holidays and vacations and things have ended, numbers will start picking back up again. But with that, picking back up will be the racing here, as the safety car is going to come in at the end of this lap. King David now leads on those hard tyres. I mean, let's be honest, the hards have seemed pretty good here. They've taken a lap or two to warm up, but they do anywhere. And I kind of feel like the mediums are going to have the advantage at the start, obviously, but those hards aren't going to drop off very quickly, though.
No, if David can keep it within a sort of a decent enough areas, he has gone.
The thing is, though, he's not caught anybody off guard, because Robbie, Troye, well, they're all right there. I mean, it was almost predictable what he was doing there.
Yeah, he tried to hold them up, trying to start finish straight. Look at Robbie right at the back.
I tell you what, there was just about a car's width. Oh my god!
Oh my god! No, please, guys, come on, keep it clean, keep it clean.
I mean,
oh my god, David's not backing
fantastic.
out.
That's been that was
wow.
Wow.
Yikes!
Wow.
So Robbie's got clear within the first sector. That means he's going to try and bolt now. Troye's come out of the set from a Quasar. In fact, Troye's not had a good first sector. He's not got those mediums up to temperature.
No, he hasn't. And total carney on the back of his teammate as well. So, wow.
Oh, God.
Wondering what's going on here.
Yeah, Troye. But King David, speaking of King David, he has not given up on the lead. Up the inside, props to Robbie. He gave him the space. Robbie gave him the space for the David sort of, he had the run on him, but props to these guys. Very clean racing is. David, that was not a legal line through there, I can't lie. So we got warning for that. But yeah, wow. So Robbie has got him. Troye struggling, we assumed, to get those mediums up to their operating window, but by now, they will be very much on their way.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, whilst he was watching Robbie and King David, I was watching Carney, Quasar and Troye, and Total Carney almost had to, place an invisible ramp in front of his car to try and get out of the way of a Quasar.
Here comes Troye.
There goes Troye, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Troye down the inside, well spotted there. Total Carney, yeah, almost completely totaled Equator's car a minute ago.
Yeah, no, that was quite not exactly what you'd want to have seeing the times to the 7 runners. But I mean, I think I will give props to King David, despite being on the hard tyres. I mean, obviously, aren't going to be crying for help, but you know, compared to those on fresh mediums, he did keep up with Robbie fairly well. You know, Robbie got past pretty quickly, but David didn't exactly let him have it easily. But I think Quasar now is going to have him possibly down the back straight.
He's going to be pushed around the outside.
Yeah, David is not making it easy.
I mean, David is. Yeah, he's defending this as hard as he possibly can, isn't he? I mean, he's going to get to the stage where he's going to have to yield, which he has. I mean, wow. I mean, King David definitely positioning that car, making the drivers go round him, and he's not making it easy. And he knows that in a few laps, you know, these cars, these medium cars are going to start dropping off, and that's when it's going to come back to him. So I don't think he's going to be too worried at the moment.
Yeah, no, absolutely, completely correct. I think that's what David is probably banking on. Are these medium tyres going out of fashion? I can't see why. I mean, what? We've got another. What's that? There's obviously a fastest lap, absolutely flying out front. He's got clean air. He's loving life. Got another 11 racing laps to go. So the mediums will be past their best, but they won't be. I don't think they'll be quite on the cliff. I think if David can keep up with a Quasar perhaps or Carney, should Carney pass him, I think that's where we're coming to play. I think David's very much possible to keep him in at least to keep him in thought for podium contention. But the mediums, they shouldn't be horrific. I think the mediums can do 12 or 13 laps. So 15 laps with lower fuel in the tank, rubbing in track. I don't think the drop-off should be too bad. I mean, I could eat my words and be completely wrong, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, here comes Total Carney on King David. We have been following this for this entire lap. Yeah, wow.
I mean, David must be running a very low downforce setup because he was keeping up with the Carney going into that. You know, he that was not simply Carney blasting by with the aid of DRS, but I think he's going to, as David does back out of that smart decision there. These guys are being very smart, very clean with their decision making this evening. So no fault at all, be very clean on the 6th car restart. But meanwhile, Robbie's just checked out the front. He's gone, thanks guys. You know, I had a bit of fun battling Toy.
Yeah, and now
I'm gone. It was fun, guys, but memorable. But David's coming back here at Carney, my god. But I don't think he's going to he's going to be tight. He's going to get DRS first. Oh, wait, I don't know who got DRS then. Who will get DRS? Neither of them. Okay, so neither of them got DRS then. But David's got the slipstream. Both their ERS lights are flashing, so they're both
down
the battery.
Inside. And
he is not giving up, David. Props to David. He's doing really well.
Yeah, he's really not. He's definitely going for it.
He is. Meanwhile, Quasar. Okay, I jumped to a Quasar and it kept me on King David. Quasar keeping in just about a second behind Trouillet, so he's not exactly falling off the Alfa Romeo driver. As Carney's going to try again with David, but I'm assuming David is either running super low downforce or Carney's running super high, because that Mercedes is quite slippery in the straight line. We'll have to see if Quasar can get his penalty removed, but Carney, did he think better of it? Has David outbroken himself? No. They keep as they were into the second sector. But yeah, Quasar's keeping just about that second and a half behind Troy. We'll see if his 5 seconds gets removed. So this seems like an incredibly random penalty to incur. But obviously the stewards have to look at that and it'll have to be reported.
But yeah, I mean, you just mentioned about the penalty being removed. I mean, if he's crossed the white line, it's going to stand.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty certain he crossed the white line on the exit. That's because where he was on track, it was coming out of the pits, going through turn 2 into 3. Now I can only assume that he has crossed the white line. We're going to run on board with Alex, Carney, and David here. I don't know if you want to, so we can have a little look at this pit exit and just to see whether we can kind of determine what he's done. But as he's come out there, I reckon he's crossed the white line and maybe gone off onto the blue runoff area there. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm just trying to check the race director for the 5 seconds, because normally if it is crossing the white line, it comes up as
for example, corner cut in.
Yeah,
So I think-
Quasar got a warning for crossing the pit lane exit, but then got a 5 seconds for corner cutting. So I think you're right. I think he just obviously go straight out of the pit lane, and then just the game sort of imagine him cutting turn 1 is giving him the 5 seconds.
Yeah. Which,
So that's unlucky for him.
oh my God! Look at Alex
I don't
out of nowhere.
Where did that come from? Alex channeling
out of nowhere, round the outside.
Channeling the Williams power.
Wow. I mean, that is definitely a Alex Albon in there. It's definitely not the Latifi.
That's absolutely no. That's very much it doesn't quite nail the chicane. Very much reminiscent of the Williams performance at Spa with that with that kind of speed. Yeah,
They were
just,
rapid, weren't they, in a straight line?
They were. I mean, Albon was. Latifi was too busy taking out the birthday boy in Alfie Bottas. So yeah, no, it was that was I did not see that. Obviously, keep an eye on Carney and David battling each other, and Alex went.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, well, I'm here too. I'm here too, you know.
And I'll tell you what, Alex is kind of checking out from these guys. I mean, David's tyres are still there, aren't they? Let's be honest, they're not giving up yet. I don't think they're going to give up for another good few laps. They will definitely get him to the end, and I still think come lap 25, 26, we are going to see David's tyres really start to benefit him against these mediums. Robbie now 4 seconds almost clear of Troye in the lead of this Grand Prix, with Troye in second place, and Quasar third, Alex in fourth. King David in 5th place with Turtle Carney in 6th, and Tintoretto down there having an absolute mare going through sector 1. Just not finding these mediums, this race, this track at all to his suited. But here comes Total Carney on King David. We thought towards the end of this he was actually going to get the move there, but yeah, Tintoretto he's just not got into any sort of groove tonight, unfortunately.
He is unfortunate for Mercedes driver, but as much as I have slandered the good name of Tintoretto 24, he has kept it going.
Which is exactly what you want from a driver, isn't it?
Yeah, he's kept it going. Yeah, he's had incidents. He's spun a couple of times. He hasn't enjoyed it. He hasn't got into rhythm, as you said, but at least he's kept going. And at the moment, he's going to score some solid points in 7th place there. But yeah, Carney right on the back of David. David is not going to have DRS on Alex, and crucially, that red light of the Mercedes is flashing, so that means that he's going to have very little DRS to play with. Surely Carney's got to go for it sooner rather than later, because if he gets held up into sector 1 again, that's going to be even more costly. Should he want to go after Alex?
And he hasn't gone for it. He has chosen to stay behind there, which is, as you just said, going to prove very costly, because this was almost more costly than that was almost more costly than he wanted to. Tintoretto into the pits for a set of softs. They will do the 7 laps. Is he going to try and still fast his lap? Who knows?
Give it a go. Why not? He's going to get. I mean, fair enough to him. He's not going to finish anywhere lower than 7th. I mean, if Carney gets past David and then checks out, I can imagine David probably might come into the pits, bowl on a set of softs and see if he can hit fast his lap for good measure too. But that's if Carney keeps it. But I mean, David is just. I don't know if Carney's running too high wings or David's lowering such low wings. But that Mercedes is just not. It's refusing to submit to the Alpine, despite being on a harder tyre that's done double the laps of the Alpine's mediums.
Yeah, and that was almost a shoving out of the way instead of a legal pass, let's say. But I tell you what, Carney is really pushing this, because he is wheel spinning out of every single possible corner now. And you know, I said to you about these hards starting to come back to King David.
Yep.
Well, we're getting that now. This is where it is. The hards are now starting to come back to him. The mediums aren't as powerful as they were 4 or 5 laps ago, and you're going to start to see, I think, that gap to Alex starting to close up very, very fast. Very, very soon, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking on board with the tyres, they all generally look fairly good, Nick. Obviously, you can tell when tyres are gone by the rings around the front tyres. But I mean, I think across the order, I mean, just cut to him is on fresh off, so he's definitely going to have some fresh tyres. I mean, there's a couple of rings on Alex's, Quasar, and so the top 4 have some of the rings slowly starting to appear. But David's and Carney's tyres looking fairly clean. Carney's front right looking a little bit dirty, but that's probably because he went put away on the outside a bit, which is obviously dirty, as you do through that corner. But Carney's going to try again. He's setting up the ERS, the Mercedes still has no ERS, but whatever David's running, I don't know if he's got like, oh no, he's going to go for it this time. I think Carney's going to get him. Yes, no.
Well, he's forced to the outside now, and David's got the inside again, but they're going wheel to wheel, and this is what I mean. You can just see just how difficult it is to run wheel to wheel there, because of the way it just I don't know, just the way that part of the track flows. It's almost impossible to run side by side through there, and again, these hards are they're just not giving up, are they?
No, neither is King David, but I think Carney's have the run. He's definitely
got the run this time. He's gone down the inside, hasn't he? I mean, is David going to get the switchback though? That's the question. He's gone for a switchback.
He has, and he's going to have DRS for the DRS ditch point. Was there that white line on the track?
And look at the traction that he's got though.
And the straight line speed. I don't know what this Mercedes is running, but I would love to see what the setup David's running, because he is absolutely flying. And he's just gone to Carney. Nice try, buddy, but he's gone deep. He's gone very deep. And is Carney going to keep around him?
Yes, he has. Yeah, that was kind of. Yeah, that was awful there from the. That was a really bad breaking point there, and you kind of think that whatever sort of setup he's running here, maybe Mercedes want to get in touch with him. Hey mate, how are you getting your Mercedes to go? Oh, never mind. We definitely don't want to get in touch with him anymore. As King David's tyres just kind of screamed, "No more! You've put me through enough. I can't cope anymore." So Turtle Carney now is free of that Mercedes now, and yeah, I mean lap 24 of 29, and there are no battles now, so we can kind of do with that last few lap safety car once again to make it more exciting, as everyone goes for the softs and the soft tyre shootout for the last 2 or 3 laps, just as we saw last week apparently. If I remember,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like last minute safety car. I feel like the guy in the lead was on mediums and everyone else was on softs. But that is a very vague memory. I wouldn't be surprised if David put into the pits in the next couple of laps. Put on a set of softs.
Well, he's got a free pit stop to his teammate behind, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, more or less. I mean, even if he didn't, I can't imagine Tin would make it too hard for him. He's going to come 6th now. He's well off Carney, and unless Carney has a major drop-off with those mediums, there's not much David's going to be able to do. Obviously, those hards are now definitely past their sell-by date, because he is just banging. And yeah, straight into the pit lane for King David. Set us off, see if he can nick fast that from Robbie. And that is quite literally, unless the two Mercedes have a bit of a fight, that's going to be it for the on-track action. We literally have gaps. The smallest gap we have, really, is Quasar, who's 3 seconds off Troye, and he has a penalty. So
yeah, it's kind of got to that real stale part of the race now, unfortunately, guys. We've had enough. I don't understand that.
You would have got points. So that is... There are 6 runners. We have lost half the grid. Oh dear. I don't get that.
Shush. I'm not saying a word. But now Robbie is 6 seconds clear. And that's
it.
Robbie almost into the wall there.
Yeah, Robbie pushing hard.
Does he really need to be pushing that hard though?
He doesn't need to. I mean, the guy just gained about what? 5 tenths you set to 2 alone. Like that gap was 6.1. It's up to 6.8. So he's gained well over half a second in that 1 sector alone. So he doesn't need to push it hard. What is interesting is that Quasar is slowly reading in Troye. Quasar only 2.5 seconds off now. It was up to 3.5 at one point. So he's closing up onto the back possibly of the Alfa Romeo. As these medium tyres in the last few laps, we will find out very quickly who has looked after them the best. But I mean, apart from that, there's not really much going on. How much I hate to say it. Everyone's just keeping it clean, we hope. So yeah, what's next week's race? Let's talk about next week's race, because
next week's race is
next week
is a bit crazy. Yeah.
Where are we racing next week? We will find out. So next week is Monza, the Temple of Speed, lining up in fact with the real life Grand Prix, as Troye gets 3 seconds. So that's him consigned to second position. Not that I think that was ever in doubt from Robbie there. But yeah, so we're off to Monza next week. The Temple of Speed, 0-0 wing heaven.
A great track. I mean, I do love. To be fair, I love both Italian tracks.
I love him. I love him.
I mean, they are very, very, very good tracks. The pair of them. Obviously, do you know what? I can see Robbie round soon.
I mean, I didn't catch that moment, but he is just attacking every curve. I mean,
yeah, I can really see him round soon. I mean, he's. I personally think he's pushing too hard.
I think so. I mean, he's not going to go for fastest lap. There's no point. I mean, unless Carney pits sort of in the next couple of laps for a set of softs, to try and nick the fastest lap. Robbie's going to have fastest lap, most likely. I mean, he already has the fastest lap by 8 tenths to Troye's fastest attempt. So he doesn't need to push this hard. Like, yeah, I'm sure it's great to go, I won by X number of seconds, but you'd rather say I won by X number of seconds or I was leading the race, and then two laps from the end, I put it in the wall, lost my front wing, and that was it. Because those mediums flicking through the grid, they've all got the not red wings. Oh my god, the sort of the lines, the rings around them, so they are definitely not going to be feeling too good. And if he keeps pushing like this, yeah, I agree, he will put it in a wall or he'll just spin it, and that would be the end of it, and he would not be happy about that.
No, I mean, as you just said, I'd rather win by 3 seconds and finish than be like, yeah, I'm going to go for a 10-second gap and then end up in a wall and actually not finish at all, you know? So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just one of those. I don't know. This kind of sums up the sort of track it is as well, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a race of attrition. Just because the walls are there, the curbs are high, the understeer obviously with the patch 1.06. At least for me, this track is a lot harder to drive. But yeah, I can imagine the drivers now are going to be generally coasting to the end.
Are you pad or wheel?
I am pad, so for me, understeer is horrific.
Right.
I guess it's horrific on console too. But on console on wheel. But yeah, no, I enjoy this track. It's fun to drive. If you get it right, of course. If you get it wrong, you're gone. But yeah, 2 laps to go. I feel like we have about as much. I don't think really much is going to happen unless Robbie decides that pushing it this hard is going to end in the wall.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got to that part now. Well, it's been at that part for about the last 5 laps, hasn't it?
Well, Carney's pitted, so there's some news. He's going to go for his fastest lap.
He's going to go for the fastest lap on the last lap, actually. So could he steal it at the last minute? Who knows? But yeah, it's just been. I don't know.
I think the race has been fine. Generally, it's just the fact that obviously we just had these gaps form.
Small numbers, yeah, as well. Which
we just had gaps form, and Robbie after his poor start, after the safety car restart, once he got past Trey and after the safety car restart, he just decked out Trey. He's just keeping it in a straight line. I bet the Alpine team are happy, and the constructors, because they got the car currently cars in 3rd and 5th.
Yeah,
so they're going to have double points.
So I mean, they're the only team out there with the double cars left. So yeah, I mean, I don't get Cameron's retirement, and I don't get David's retirement. They were both very. I
don't really. Yeah, I mean, Cameron was like the first lap. I mean, the guy had pace. He was top 3. So I mean, you could have easily come back from that. I understand getting frustrated. We all get frustrated when we're pushing hard. We make a mistake. The adrenaline. You just go, yeah, screw it. I'm done. David. I don't get why he would have picked for a nice set of softs, unless there's obviously we can always drivers might have something going on like their home life and they need to do something. That's fine, but I mean, if you've got something you need to do at home, you probably shouldn't be putting league racing in front of that.
No, of course, I appreciate that, and I get that. With that, we are on the final lap. We'll be 8 seconds clear of Troy Yates. Let's have a little look at the penalty situation actually. 3 and 5 seconds, obviously. So yeah, I mean, even the order's going to stay as it is at the moment because Alex isn't close enough to benefit from that 5-second penalty of Equator. So yeah, I mean, Carney's finished that first lap, so he's going to be going for that fastest lap push this lap. Be interested if he has seen it. So we'll have to wait and see whether if he can steal that fastest lap. Which is obviously which is held by Robbie at the minute with that 29.5. Carney's current fastest lap is a 31.4.
Yeah, so Carney obviously in push. He's gonna have lots of EOS, lots of grip.
Robbie is literally just cruising. He's moving down the straight. He's literally just cruising. He's coming around that final few corners now. He is going to come to the end of the race. He is going to take the checkered flag. He is going to win. And they've been warned about this.
His AI keeps it in a straight line. The AI does keep it in a straight line. He did do a little bit of a flick spin, but his AI has kept it clear. So I think he could be clear. Well, But yeah, we'd have to remind drivers that don't. Oh, yes, Quasar's penalty comes up. Don't do it, guys. It does cause a bit of havoc. It doesn't look professional if it starts several cars shooting across the grid, lights out. But Carney's currently 1.8 seconds up on his fastest time. It feels like they're back in qualifying again.
On board with Carney at the moment to see what he can do. Can he steal that fastest lap? That's a pretty big lock-up at the end of that straight as well.
Yeah. Oh, and a sight.
Yeah.
But he might do it because he's going to have the soft tyres up the line. Can Carney steal it? Yes, he can.
29-1. 4 total Carney on the final lap, and Tintoretto probably going to be glad this race is over.
And glad he's finished it too. So good job to Tintoretto there, keeping it going.
Definitely. I mean, overall, as you said, it was a very good race, guys. But I feel like it would have been a slightly better race had there been slightly fuller grid and a little bit more action on track. Let's say.
Yeah. I think with a fuller grid, there would have been action start to finish. But I mean, at least it's a good start. That the racing was generally decent. Hopefully, the rest of the tiers for the rest of the week have slightly better, attendance. But I mean, decent enough race, decent enough start to the week of racing here in Miami. So yeah, I think an excellent performance from Robbie. Once he got back past 28, it was never in doubt. But yeah, decent enough race. It was clear, sunny, but of course we do know that there can be rain at times. So who knows what's going to happen next? But yeah, very much looking forward to seeing what the rest of the week offers for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're back again tomorrow for Tier 2, which I believe, as it stands, is myself and Artistic.
Oh gosh, I've got you competing on me. That's going to be concerning.
Yeah, just for this week, guys. I think because I think Feldman's a little bit poorly, so I've been asked just to be on standby just in case that he can't do it. But back to tonight, Robbie stealing the show, 10 seconds clear of Troye in second with a Quasar in third. Alex fourth, Total Carney fifth, Tintoretto sixth, King David seventh. No, King David retiring, Basil retiring, Bingham out. Mitwee, Larson and Cameron, all non-finishers this week. Like I said a minute ago, guys, we are going to be back again tomorrow night for Tier 2 here in Miami, where I could be on comms, Luke will be racing.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, let's hope it's a better turnout and a slightly more eventful race. I wouldn't say better because it wasn't a poor race. I just like a bit more happening in the race when I'm watching. But yeah, guys, it's been a pleasure once again this week. And let's just have a look and see, has anyone gone in there? No, they haven't done. Tier 1 don't seem to like doing the podium interviews, unfortunately.
The Walking Vikings.
So yeah, so we will be back again next week, guys, for Tier 1 on Monday night. But yeah, we're back again tomorrow night here in Prospects eRacing League for Tier 2. Their round 6 race at Miami. We're going to say goodnight. It's been a pleasure, as I said. I've been Zippo.
And I've been Luke, and we'll catch you all very shortly.
Yes, we will. We'll see you again tomorrow night. But for now, guys, we're out. Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.